I love outreach. Outreach takes me back in time. Outreach takes me to a time when I remember life was tough. I wouldn't say life was hard, but life was tough. And let me explain to you why. When somebody say, go in the mission field, go in the communities and help somebody else, I jump. I run to that moment. Because as my brothers and sisters and I grew up in Natchez, Mississippi, somebody had to help us along the way. My mother was a maid, and she worked for these different families to help bring income into the family. My dad worked too, but my dad was an alcoholic. And so everything relied on mom. But then mom had some other folks in the neighborhood. I'll never forget one of them, Miss Emma Fields. We used to call her Mama Duck because she was how she walked. She used to wobble like a duck, right? But let me tell you something, that lady could cook. And on the way to school in the morning, Miss Fields used to give us a biscuit with some fat back on it and some syrup. And that used to be breakfast for us, right? See, I didn't realize then that she was doing outreach. So as I've grown up and gone to college and worked in corporation, worked in the military, now directing a business myself, it's time for us to give back to the community. See, somewhere out there are kids that don't have anything to eat. Somewhere out there are kids that don't even have a father figure in the household. Somewhere out there are kids that don't even have a mom in the household. So outreach means a lot to me. It's not just a word. It is something that we can give back to, and it is mandatory here at PQC International. It's not optional. That we all, in some way, give back individually and corporately to our communities. And I'm telling you, when you do that, it touches you in your heart. You know that you've helped somebody that day. And I tell everybody that's watching this video, you should never ever go to bed at night until you've helped somebody that day. Don't tell me you're tired. Don't tell me that you're too busy to help somebody. Because I don't care who you are, whether you grew up in Natchez, Mississippi, or if you grew up in a rich family somewhere in New York City, you need to reach back and help somebody. Because if we don't reach back and start helping the kids of today, then our nation is going to deteriorate. Our country will be lost. Outreach is a way to change who we are and what we do in this country. And then as you do things here, you also want to go out to other countries, Sierra Leone. You want to go into Guatemala and other places where there's a need to help young kids. Now, some people say, when you talk about outreach, you talk about kids all the time. Yes, I do. I ain't talking about the old folks, right? My passion is for young kids. My passion is to help kids understand the power of knowledge, the power of going to school, the power of having the right tools to go to school, because they are the future. They are our tomorrow. They alone can change who we are. They alone will set this country on the right pace. So if we don't equip them now, our country will be lost. Outreach is a passion for me. When you think about the refugee camp right here in Clarkston, Georgia, that's amazing to me. When I first found out about the Clarkston refugee camp, first of all, I didn't believe it. How could that happen in Atlanta, Georgia? You gotta be kidding me. But when I went out there to begin to understand what goes on there, there is a nation of people out there. There's over 61 nations in Clarkston in this refugee camp. And they are in need of a lot of things. Some of these women have brought into this refugee camp from other countries from around the world that have been sexually abused, have been mentally abused, have been physically abused, and they're trying to take care of their children. They came to this refugee camp in order to have a new start, a new life. And that's one of the places that PQC will continue to reach out to. That's important because, again, if you go out there and change one life, you'll make a difference in the community that we live in. Because remember, they are in our community. We need to go help them. We need to go do things to help them become integrated into our society. We need to help them where they become educated and employable so they can be self-sustained, so they can take care of their families. That refuge camp is there for a reason. It's in Atlanta's backyard for a reason. We as citizens of this city need to be out in Clarkston helping them to achieve the things they came here to achieve. They can't go back home. This is their home. This is where they're supposed to be. Now let's make it right for them. Let's help them. Because I don't know about you, but at PQC, we're going to help them. Our whole premise is we want to change one life. One. Because if we change that life and have them to have total transformation, that transformation is going to cause them to have a renewed mind. And when you have a renewed mind, you become a new person inside. And when you become a new person on the inside, guess what you start doing? You then begin to help somebody else. And when they begin to help somebody else, all of a sudden now, we got 1,000 people being helped because one person's mind was changed. One person went through that process of transformation. That's why we do it. That's why we do this. I think other companies can not necessarily help PQC. PQC going to move on and help those out there in the outreach program, whether any other corporation do it or not. Whether it's small business, large corporation, it doesn't matter. Now, if other companies want to partner with us, because we're not going to stop. We are on a path of restoration and transformation. And if others want to partner with us, I invite them in to do that. Come right now. Fill out the RFI form on the bottom of this page. Request more information about our program. And I guarantee you, we would love to have you out in the field. Everybody got to begin to get out of the office. Everybody sit in the office from 9 to 5, 9 to 6. They go home to their nice homes and sit up with their family and have nice meals in the afternoon. But there's too many people here in Atlanta, Georgia, don't have food to eat, clothes to wear. And winter is bad in Atlanta. It's cold. It's cold here. And you gotta be out there to help somebody. I'm telling you, if you want to join PQC on this mission, come on. But if you don't, I say bless you. We moving on. We moving on. It's about transforming one person at a time. And that's what it's all about. And we will not stop. To me, Norcross Co-op is a valuable asset to the community. When you go to Norcross Co-op and you see what they are doing within the community, when you see those moms with the children stand out in the lobby, waiting for their turn to be served, when you see that mom get 6 diapers in a Ziploc bag, not getting the whole box of Pampers, 6 diapers, and you look at her face, she's so thankful. When you see that mom get a bag of food for the week, they're so thankful. And see, when we go as a volunteer team from PQC to the Norcross Co-op, we are unpacking boxes, packing boxes, stacking groceries, folding clothes, whatever. But every clothes that you fold, everything that you do at the Norcross Co-op, you gotta know, every fabric that you touch, every sweater you touch, every pair of socks that you touch, every canned good you touch, is gonna touch somebody's heart that week, that month. Because you have just touched somebody's life with that can of baked beans. You just touched somebody's life with those 6 diapers in that bag. They don't care whether they're Huggies or Pampers. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. They need diapers for the baby. When you touch that can of milk, you just touched the baby's heart. You just rubbed the baby's stomach when you did that. And you understand, each time you touch the can of milk, understand that when that baby take that bottle and begin to suck down that milk, that smile come on that baby face because you touched a can of milk. Norcross Co-op is changing lives out there. Norcross Co-op is saving lives out there. Norcross Co-op is keeping people out of the cold weather with no sweaters or gloves or hats. They provide a lot to the community. And that's why PQC International and all of our associates volunteer so faithfully and so generously at the North Coast Co-op. It is important that every company, small, medium, and large in the Atlanta community, should be rushing to the co-op, rushing to North Coast Co-op, and doing whatever they can in whatever way they can. See, I don't want to hear a small business say, I don't know how to do it. I don't have time to do it. When I was in military school, I had an instructor told me, and I'll never forget this. He said, when one has no time, one makes time. And think about it. If you make time to go give them 2 hours a month, you can't lose. You spend 2 hours in traffic in Atlanta. So go to No Co-op and give them 2 hours. If not, I hope you sit in traffic for 8 hours a day. I'm talking about, man, I'm telling you, you see people from all gender. You see African American, you see whites, you see Hispanics, you see little kids. See, to me, I don't care. It is not about the gender. It's not about the race. It's about the little kids. It's about the mom that's trying to figure out how to feed her family for the next 2 days. It's about the mom that's trying to put clothes on her kids for the winter. I don't see all that other stuff. All right? I'm blind. All I see is 2 or 3 little kids or a whole family or whatever that has a need. And we can fulfill that need through volunteerism. Volunteerism has made this country who we are today. And we at PQC International make that a priority here. Volunteering is just as important as the next big contract for PQC. I hold the two at the highest level. Volunteering is just as big as the next big contract to PQC. People can help the North Coast Co-op simply. It's a very simple process. Call them up and just say you want to volunteer. I can guarantee you nobody's going to turn you away from North Coast Co-op. They are open arms to anybody that want to volunteer. And for those that work at PQC International, don't worry about it. We got your schedule. We're going to schedule you. Okay? And this is all levels from the chairman of the board all the way down. Everybody got to volunteer at the North Coast Co-op. It's not an option. And you got to do it with joy, happiness, and peace. You got to go down with a positive attitude. You got to go down there, and I'll tell you, once you volunteer one time at the North Coast Co-op, you will be begging to go back. Please let me go again. Let me go twice in the same month. Because you too will be transformed. When you see those kids down there, you too will be transformed. All you got to do is go down there and see one time, and your life will change.